Welcome to Red October Reports, exclusively here on Eco Future Wealth Patreon. I'm your host, Chella Smith, and throughout October, we're going to be releasing fresh shows every Thursday. We will not be here on Friday, so hopefully you have joined the channel. Here's the plan. On YouTube, we'll be keeping it simple. All month long, it's beginners blockchain only. That way, new investors can build a foundation while we dive deeper here on Patreon. I'm Chella Smith with Eco Future Wealth. Let's get into this week's Iraqi news.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep into Iraq's comprehensive transformation right now. And the sheer scale of what's happening financially, digitally, structurally, it's immense, really.
It really is.
This isn't just about daily oil policy anymore. We're looking at systemic changes, the kind that shape long-term fiscal stability.
Exactly, and they dictate how foreign investment flows in.
And critically, they're influencing the potential foundation for, well, for dinar valuation down the line.
What's fascinating here, I think, is that we're seeing Iraq pull not just one, but like a dozen economic levers almost simultaneously.
Right.
So for you, the listener, our mission today is pretty simple. We're synthesizing all these complex developments, from market integration and deep digital governance reform to securing data sovereignty and expanding maritime trade.
So this is basically your shortcut to understanding the new economic foundation that's being laid brick by brick.
Precisely, getting you up to speed quickly.
We've organized this thematically. We'll start with securing that global confidence, those big financial partnerships. Then we look inside Iraq at the radical digital surgery that's underway to modernize the state.
That's a big one.
And finally, we'll assess how Iraq is physically and digitally connecting its markets to the rest of the world. Let's jump straight into that global alignment piece.
Okay. Well, the biggest signal here is this really determined push for serious international financial partnerships.
Right.
And recently, a lot of focus has been on the European Investment Bank, the EIB.
Ah, yes, the EIB meeting. Deputy Prime Minister Fuad Hussein met with their VP, Gelsamana Vidiati.
That's the one. And the focus wasn't just small talk. It was about finalizing a pretty high-stakes framework agreement.
Okay, framework agreement. Sounds a bit procedural. Why is this seen as such a critical turning point right now?
Because it represents a massive external vote of confidence, a really big one.
Okay.
The explicit goals are, yes, strengthening cooperation, sure, but also enhancing infrastructure development. And, maybe most importantly, starting to wean Iraq off its heavy dependence on the public sector.
How? By empowering the private sector.
Exactly. Strategically empowering it. That's the key phrase.
So what? Why should an international investor or even just someone watching Iraq care about this EIB framework? What does it mean in practical terms?
What is that this partnership signals renewed, concrete EU investment interest. It's not just talk anymore.
Right. Real interest.
And once this framework is secured, the expectation is the EIB will significantly increase funding, directed toward infrastructure, yes, but also renewable energy projects.
Okay, so actual money flowing in for roads, solar panels, that sort of thing.
Precisely. But it does more than that. It fundamentally boosts Iraq's credit confidence.
Ah, okay, lowers the risk perception.
Exactly. It lowers the perceived risk of investment and hopefully encourages European private investors to follow suit. It's like a powerful public stamp of approval.
That confidence boost seems to be the running theme because we saw a very similar alignment effort at the IMF and World Bank meetings in Washington, didn't we?
We did. Finance Minister Taif Sami, central bank officials, they were all there.
And tackling tough subjects right away, the 2025, 2026 budget priorities, those payment delays we hear about.
Yes, the immediate stuff, but also, crucially, prioritizing the long game. Modernizing tax, customs, treasury systems, it's all connected.
And this ties into Iraq's big Vision 2050, right? Diversifying beyond oil, pushing digital transformation hard.
Precisely. That's the backbone. Coordination with the IMF and World Bank isn't really optional at this stage. No, it's a necessary condition to stabilize investor perception and, critically, secure those future foreign lending commitments. You need them on board.
Okay, but let's introduce a bit of friction here. Critical friction. The long-term vision sounds great, strong even, but is this flurry of announcements actually solving the existing notorious short-term liquidity pressures, especially with those budget delays?
That's a fair question, and it's important to manage expectations. No, these announcements don't magically vanish the short-term pressures overnight. That's not realistic.
Okay.
But what they do achieve is structural integrity. They build a stronger foundation. Medium-term growth is now supported by serious, verifiable structural modernization efforts.
So it signals commitment.
Yes, a seriousness about reform, and that's the necessary precursor for sustained investment, even if the daily progress feels, well, incremental and sometimes painful.
Right. Okay, so that's the external vote of confidence. But for that confidence to actually stick, the sister inside Iraq has to deliver, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It has to work on the ground.
And that leads us nicely to the radical digital surgery happening domestically, that shift from paper to a functioning digital state.
Yeah, and the biggest leap here, both symbolically and practically, was the official launch of the electronic signature system.
Right. The Prime Minister himself, al-Sudani, did the first official digital signatures.
He did, breathing life into a law that's actually been on the books since 2012, but now with its new 2025 regulations finally being implemented.
The stated goals are just colossal. Slash corruption, dramatically enhance service delivery, modernize government transactions. It's seen internationally as a huge step, right?
It is. And think about the practical application for a moment.
Okay.
In a historically paper-based system, often plagued by, let's be honest, high corruption, shifting to a verifiable e-signature system fundamentally changes the business landscape. It just does.
How so?
Well, it streamlines registration, speeds up contract verification, and crucially reduces the physical touch points where bribery and rent-seeking can occur.
Okay, I see. So fewer opportunities for things to go wrong, basically.
Exactly. And this directly impacts foreign investor confidence. They need to trust the integrity of government services.
It sounds great, digitally. But how confident can investors really be? I mean, the electricity grids, local connectivity, the bureaucracy on the ground.
Yeah.
Can it actually support a reliable nationwide digital system? That infrastructure needs to be rock solid.
That is the essential question. Implementation realism, it's definitely a risk.
Right.
But that's precisely why other foundational investments are happening at the same time. You can't do one without the others.
Like in the banking sector.
Exactly. Take the banking sector. We saw Jordan-based Delta Informatics secure an ILO contract.
Right. To develop what? A management information system, an MIS?
Yes, an MIS specifically for the Iraqi company for bank guarantees.
Okay. What does a new MIS system actually do in the context of Iraqi banking reform? Why is that important?
It's strategic for modernizing the banking sector, specifically targeting small and medium enterprises, SMEs.
Ah, the SMEs. Crucial for diversification.
Absolutely crucial. This system enhances transparency, compliance, and critically, it digitizes and formalizes risk assessment for loan guarantees.
So moving away from opaque decisions.
Yes. Previously, decisions might have been, let's say, less transparent. Now, this system makes risk measurable, quantifiable.
I see.
And that's the necessary bridge for building a stable private sector and improving credit access for companies outside the big established ones. You simply can't diversify away from oil without this kind of credit infrastructure. It won't happen.
And speaking of infrastructure, this leads us to what I find maybe the most forward-looking contract mentioned. That landmark deal with Nokia.
Ah, yes, the data centers.
To build Iraq's first government data centers intended for commercial use. Located in Baghdad, right? At Indisar and Al Rashid exchanges.
That's right. This is fundamentally an act of digital independence. You could call it data sovereignty.
Data sovereignty. Explain that a bit more.
The goal is to securely host citizens' data, companies' data, domestically, right there in Iraq, meeting international standards, enhancing cybersecurity.
So Iraq controlling its own digital vault, essentially, instead of relying on foreign clouds or servers in neighboring countries.
Exactly. It's a massive step. Control your data, control your digital future.
And if they pull this off, if they establish that secure domestic digital vault, where does that position Iraq regionally? What's the potential?
Potentially, it positions them as a regional data hub. Seriously.
A hub.
Yes. Secure sovereign data hosting is the necessary precondition for attracting the kind of high-security tech investment you need for future fields. Think fintech innovation, specialized cloud computing, advanced smart city solutions.
Right, you need the secure foundation first.
You absolutely have to secure the data before you can really monetize the digital economy. It's step one.
Okay, let's pivot now. From the digital foundations to how Iraq is connecting its economy physically and digitally to regional and global capital markets. The big headline here has to be the stock market integration.
Oh, absolutely. Huge news.
The Iraq Securities Commission just approved membership requirements for the tradable platform.
This is a profound move. Tradable links the Iraq Stock Exchange, the ISX, directly with the Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange, the ADX.
Oh, okay. Direct linkage.
And when the ISX chairman, Faisal Al-Hamis, calls this a strategic leap, he's not exaggerating. This is deliberate. It's geopolitical, it's financial alignment.
With clear goals, I assume.
Very clear goals. Improve liquidity on the ISX, attract serious regional investors, and deepen integration into those deep pools of Gulf capital markets.
So this link, it's not just a technical hookup. It
Yeah.
feels like a massive statement of confidence from the GCC, from Abu Dhabi, in Iraq's longer-term stability.
Absolutely. It positions Iraq as a much more viable regional trading hub.
And the expectation. What follows?
We should expect to see gradual but sustained capital inflows from GCC investors. They now have a direct regulated route into the ISX.
Right.
And that depth is essential for stabilizing and eventually growing the local market.
And the ISX itself seems to be gearing up for this. We've seen reports of major activity already, right?
Yeah.
Approving those ISX ADX brokerage memberships.
Yes, getting the plumbing ready.
And some pretty big trades. Multi-billion share trades, over 12.7 billion Iraqi dinar, involving Iraqi Islamic Bank, Al-Muntashir Islamic Bank.
The market is definitely responding, which is a key indicator of internal health, you know. It shows there's activity, there's belief, and you also see necessary governance in action. Things like companies resuming trading after doing their homework, successful AGMs, capital increases like Karktour Amusement City,
Right.
but balanced by temporary trading suspensions when needed. For governance reasons, restructuring, like with Al Nukba and Trust International.
So an active regulator stepping in.
Exactly. Protecting investor interests. It shows the system is trying to work properly.
Okay, so beyond the digital trading floor, let's talk physical connections. The Ministry of Transport is pushing massive plans to expand investment in the maritime sector. How critical is port modernization in this whole diversification story?
Oh, incredibly critical. You can't be a trading hub without efficient ports.
Makes sense.
They're focusing on modernizing ports with digital systems, automated cargo management, catching up with global standards.
And ratifying international agreements.
Yes. Over 30 international maritime agreements. That's about alignment, speaking the same language as global shipping. Plus, reviewing contracts for 8 new vessels, increasing cooperation with partners like China. It all shows commitment.
When we connect this back to the trade balance, why does better shipping infrastructure matter more than, say, just building a new pier?
Because better infrastructure, the systems, the efficiency directly enhances how well exports get out.
Okay.
And crucially, it reduces the cost and the complexity of imports coming in.
Oh, right. Lower costs for businesses and consumers.
Yes, significant long-term economic benefits. It makes Iraqi goods more competitive globally, reduces domestic costs. It's absolutely essential infrastructure if you want to be a regional trade gateway.
Okay, finally, let's shift focus one last time. To the regulatory side. How is Iraq protecting things like intellectual property and even cultural values in this rapidly expanding digital space? First up, tackling piracy, the digital Wild West.
Yeah, this has been a significant blocker, a real obstacle to attracting major international investment, especially in media and entertainment.
Right, we saw international groups, La Liga, the Premier League, the Motion Picture Association, urging immediate action.
They did, citing huge losses, potentially over $1 billion annually, due to illegal streaming platforms.
And the allegations were specific, weren't they? Mentioning ISPs like Earthlink, Nuruz Telecom, allegedly enabling platforms like Cinemana, Shabakati, Vodoo.
That specificity is important. It means the authorities know or should know where the problem lies. There's no hiding it.
So the push is to enforce what? Existing laws.
Exactly. Enforce Iraq's existing copyright law and align properly with global WTO standards.
And the benefit isn't just protecting Hollywood studios.
Not at all. Combating piracy actually improves Iraq's own prospects for things like WTO accession.
Okay.
And crucially, it unlocks significant potential revenue. How? By creating a trustworthy environment that can attract international content, investment, and distribution deals. Creates a legitimate market.
Right. Makes sense. And still on digital oversight, but shifting gears slightly, we saw quite direct regulatory action on the social front, too. The nationwide ban on the online game Roblox.
Yes, based on a federal Supreme Court ruling, that was significant.
Why? What does that signal?
Well, It speaks to the regulatory capacity, or at least the intent, being established. The government showing can act decisively in the digital sphere.
And the reasons cited were pretty serious.
They were comprehensive. Concerns over child safety, potential cyber exploitation, content that violates Iraqi moral and cultural values, worries about digital addiction, even financial strain on families. It covered a lot of ground.
So this frames a much stricter, maybe more centralized regulatory oversight on digital content and consumption.
I think so. It definitely signals that the government intends to exercise serious control over the digital consumption landscape.
Is it just about shutting one platform down, though? Or does it pave the way for something else?
It could well pave the way. Rather than just shutting Roblox down, it signals that perhaps only government-approved or highly regulated platforms, ones deemed culturally compliant and meeting strict safety standards, might be allowed in the future.
Interesting. So the new digital state is willing and able to draw boundaries.
It appears so. It shows they're thinking about the rules of engagement in this new space. So to try and synthesize this massive undertaking we've been discussing,
Yeah, pull it all together.
Iraq is systematically laying the groundwork, piece by piece, for a more transparent, more diversified, and definitely a digitally modernized economy.
Okay.
Every single item, we've talked about the EIB, the IMF alignment, the e-signature system rollout, that ADX stock market linkage, even the digital regulatory actions like the piracy crackdown or the Roblox ban. They're all pieces of a carefully planned modernization puzzle. These aren't just random announcements.
Right, they feel connected.
They are. These are structural, verifiable, real-world reforms. And they fundamentally influence future economic value, not just, day-to-day market speculation.
That really is the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? We've covered these three massive pillars of transformation: securing that global alignment through financial trust,
Yep.
establishing robust digital governance through building that domestic infrastructure, and facilitating deep market integration through both trade and capital connections.
That sums it up well.
So we leave you, the listener, with this final provocative thought to chew on. With Iraq linking its stock market directly to a major hub like Abu Dhabi, modernizing its digital systems towards global standards, expanding its critical maritime and data infrastructure. Are these structural reforms the early verifiable signals of a genuinely stronger foundation for the dinar's value? Or will the currency's true value, its real purchasing power, only shift significantly once Iraq fully opens up to global trading and once these deep structural changes start yielding sustained, measurable, demonstrable results on the ground?
Something to definitely mull over.
Absolutely. Something to mull over as you watch these crucial systemic reforms continue to unfold in Iraq.
That's a wrap for today's Red October Reports, exclusively here on Eco Future Wealth Patreon. Remember, all through the month of October, our shows drop every Thursday. And just a quick reminder, Eco Future Wealth provides article summaries for informational purposes only. Nothing here is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and we don't endorse or recommend specific investments. Markets are volatile, and conditions can vary depending on exchanges. Always consider your own financial situation, goals, and risk tolerance before making any decision. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Chella Smith. See you next Thursday right here for Red October Reports.